Hey guys, Andrew Strout. I'm here in the sideboard. I'm sitting with Josh McClain and Ben Friedman. And we are here to pick their brains and ask them some quick questions about Legacy. So let's kick things off. The first question, of course, we'll get answers from both players, but we'll start with Josh on this one. What deck are you playing this weekend, and why did you choose to play it?
I'm playing a blue-white-red Delver deck.
Okay.
It's closer to the blue-red Delver decks than it is to the old like blue-red Stoneforge decks.
Sure.
But it basically is the blue-red deck, but it's playing just adding Stoneforge Mystic and Swords to Plowshares.
Okay.
So still like young Pyromancers, only 16 lands, no
Gotcha.
wastelands, so still like very low on the curve.
Okay. All right. Ben, what are you battling with?
So I'm playing a pretty similar deck to Josh. I'm also playing an American-themed deck. I prefer America to Jeskai because I don't know what country Jeskai is from, and I'm a bit leery of foreign things, so like Canadians. And so, you know, I'm playing this mid-range blue-white-red deck, but it's a BBD specialty, so you should probably look out for that. We have no Delvers because I think Delver is secretly a bad card. It always dies, and it leads you to make lines that don't actually win, but you think that you're going to win, and then it like tricks you. So we're just playing Stoneforge Pyromancer and True Name Nemesis, along with the full boat of cantrips, treasure cruises. See what I did there with the cruises in the boat? Yeah.
Sure.
And that's basically what's going on here.
All right, cool. Ben, how have you adjusted for a treasure cruise metagame?
So yeah, like most people, I have 2 Pyroblasts in the main deck, and I'm playing my own treasure cruises. I'm hoping to cruise harder than my opponents. Josh and I played some practice games, and he resolved 1 treasure cruise, and I resolved 4, and I won very easily.
I did not win that game.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's basically what I'm doing to cruise better than other people.
How about you, Josh?
Basically the exact same thing. I'm playing for myself. I'm playing 2 Pyroblasts. We try to have as many cheap spells as possible to try to fuel it, to make sure you can always cast it. Just being aware, like more so like you have to kind of play with it in mind, don't burn your forces on stuff you don't have to, stuff like that.
Okay.
So, but as far as preparation, just some more Pyroblasts. There's some Pyroblasts in the main deck, and then my own cruises.
Okay, fair enough. Let's talk a little bit about your guys' preparation for this tournament. You guys have played in a lot of Grand Prix, but this is one of the bigger Grand Prix. This is probably the third biggest. We don't know a final number yet, but how does a 4,000-ish player field, how does that affect your preparation at all, or does it at all?
I don't think it really affects my preparation. It definitely affects my mindset about the tournament. I'm really looking to go basically a successful Grand Prix I would consider would be getting 3 pro points. And so in this tournament, I think going X3 is a lot easier than other tournaments because there's so many people. Okay. Just a lot of people don't play Legacy, and just it's such a big field, so you'll play against the better players less often, I guess.
All right.
So my outlook on the tournament, going X3, I think whereas winning the tournament's way harder. There's a million people top 8ing is so hard, but going X3 just to get those 3 pro points is a lot easier, I think.
Okay.
So I'm more willing to go to a tournament that's going to be really big than say a small tournament that's a lot harder.
Okay, fair enough. Ben, what are your thoughts?
I don't know what Josh is saying about it. Hard to top 8 a 4,000 player GP. We both top 8'd the last one.
We did both top 8 that last one.
So I think we'll probably just easily run it back, right?
Okay.
But in reality, the thing is, the 4,000 player tournaments you're not going to play against 4 high-level pros on day 2. You're going to play against probably someone who just happened to hit good variance on day 1, and you're probably going to beat them because you're better than they are. So as opposed to in a smaller Grand Prix where down the stretch of day 2 you could play against hundreds of lifetime pro points worth of players at these giant GPs. You might play against someone who it's their very first Grand Prix playing for top 8, and it's very reasonable to think that. So what that means is, especially considering this is Legacy, you want to be prepared for as wide open a field as possible. People were talking about metagaming really hard for the Delver decks. If we can just play a bunch of Rest in Pieces, then we can beat their treasure cruises, and if we can just play Leyline of the Void and a Tezzeret Shell, maybe that's going to be it. But my opinion is you're more likely to play against a random Dredge or Mono Brown deck or Merfolk or Goblins than you are to play against Delver 6 times in a row. So why would you bother just trying to only metagame for one deck when it's such a wide open field? There's so many people. Just play what you know, and we're obviously doing just that. We're playing, the decks that all the grinders always battle with at these Legacy Opens.
Fair enough. The next question is for you, Ben. It's kind of funny given what you said earlier about Delver Secrets. But the question is, what do you think the best Delver deck is in Legacy right now?
I could try and come up with some funny quip here. I really don't think it's that well positioned.
Okay.
I think the best Delver deck is Blue-Red Delver, and it's because it gets to play Monastery Swiftspear, which is better than Delver. The thing is that so against the combo deck, you lead off with a Delver, and now you maybe don't have your blue card to pitch to force in addition to holding your days up. So then they just fight through you and combo and kill you. So it's just things like that force you to be proactive when I would rather be reactive in a lot of these situations. I don't love. But obviously the best Delver deck is the best deck, which is Blue-Red Delver, is the level 1, just awesome deck, smooth as butter, everything is very aggressively slanted. I think that's the best level 1 Delver deck, but obviously, Josh thinks differently.
Sure.
So yeah, I played Blue-Red Delver for a little bit preparing for this tournament. I don't play much Legacy. Like, this is maybe my 3rd Legacy tournament ever. Okay. So like I'm pretty low on the games played there, but so I played a little bit of Blue-Red Delver and I liked it, and then I played a little bit with this Blue-Red Delver against Blue-Red Delver, and I like the way that matchup played out. So like you may be a little worse. Like the Blue-Red Delver deck, I think against other decks that are not Blue-Red Delver is probably a little better, but I don't think it's significant enough to make up for in that matchup. The Blue-Red Delver against Blue-Red Delver, I think, is better enough for Blue-Red Delver that it makes it worth it. So just in a vacuum, Blue-Red Delver is probably the best Delver deck, but I think for this field, and I know, like Ben was saying, you don't want to metagame too much, so and maybe that's kind of what we're doing, so maybe that's bad, but I like the Blue-Red Delver deck just for the small edge it has in against the other Delver.
It's not like Blue-Red Delver is like a very precise tool. It's still pretty.
It's still a Delver deck with you're still playing bolts, forces, dazes, all that stuff. So it is very similar to the Blue-Red Delver deck.
All right, fair enough. So. Probably the big story in Legacy right now, of course, are the blue decks. The Delvers, the Treasure Cruise, running rampant. What do you think is the best non-blue Legacy deck?
The best non-blue deck. Like I said, I don't play much Legacy, but from like the little bit I have played in the past, I've always really enjoyed Elves. Okay. I think that deck is great. It's if you know how to play it very well, it's very powerful. All right. That being said, I haven't played it since Treasure Cruise has been printed, but I still think it's not. I don't think it's that bad. If I wasn't going to play blue, I would probably certainly play that. So. All
right. What do you think?
I wanted to say the best non-blue deck is staying home from the tournament, but I think that if I were unable to play a blue deck, so let's say I locked myself into not casting Brainstorm for a Legacy GP, I would play Dredge. And the reason is, I don't want to play the Treasure Cruise game. If I can't play the Treasure Cruise game, I want to play a different game that's not Magic the Gathering. Yeah, we're not going to play Magic cards. We're going to play Dredge, and I think Dredge is the kind of deck that people are running a lot of their own cruises, so they may skimp on cards like Rest in Peace.
Sure.
It's great. I mean, it's a deck that I'm always, terrified. I'm going to pee my pants when I play against Dredge, because what if they just go, all right, turn 1 Cabal Therapy, you name your hate card, and then kill you on turn 2? It's just really hard to actually be properly prepared for Dredge in such a wide open field. So if I wasn't going to be this, super cool reactive blue deck, then I would just say, all right, to hell with it. I'm going to slam a hammer down on the table, and you're going to lose.
All right, fair enough. Let's put our developers caps on a little bit here. The next question: if you could ban or unban any one card in Legacy, what would it be?
I want to unban Mental Misstep. God, I cut my teeth on the Mental Misstep format, and I think that people need to learn some respect for the blue cards. People still don't have quite enough respect for blue cards. I think, first of all, I really want to play like Mental Misstep, Snapcaster Mage, Treasure Cruise, Jace the Mind Sculptor. Just, oh my God.
Isn't Mental Misstep good in the non-blue deck?
Mental Misstep is good in every deck. It's just awesome. I think it would it make Legacy a more robust and even format? No, but it would make it more fun for me, and I think it would make it very skill intensive. But I recognize that that's probably a little bit too much of a pipe dream at this point. I think blue's gotten a little too good. So I think if I were going to honestly unban something, it would be the card that Josh is going to talk to you about. And if I were going to ban something, I would just ban Treasure Cruise and Dig Through Time because they're too good.
So Josh, what is Josh going to talk to us about?
If I could unban a card in Legacy, it would definitely be Survival of the Fittest. I love that card. Okay. I love those style of decks, similar to Birthing Pod in Modern. Just decks with like really good creatures that you just have this toolbox, so you can kind of get whatever you need. You can play all these creatures in your deck that are good in specific scenarios, while also your deck is like this good green creature deck.
Sure.
So you have like your combo plan, then you also have a good beatdown plan. Kind of why I like Elves a lot. If you have your combo play, and then you're just a very good attacking deck.
Okay.
So it's my style of card. I love being able to, like I said, just play all these like crazy cards that you couldn't play otherwise. You know, like I think not this is a bad example for Legacy, but like Orzhov Pontiff. Like you can't play a card like Orzhov Pontiff in a normal deck in Modern. You know, it's not a good enough card. But when you can get it only when you need it, then it's great. So like, I love those type of cards. So I'd love to be able to open that door.
I know there are a lot of survival of the fittest fans in the world.
Yeah.
So I guess some of you are still holding out hope.
Yeah.
The next question, it's a simple one: Treasure Cruise or Dig Through Time?
I like Dig Through Time a lot better, but I think the Cruise decks are a lot better. But as a card, I'm going to say Dig.
All right.
I think Dig Through Time is more of the thinking man's Magic card, whereas Treasure Cruise is like, oh, let's cast a bunch of spells and draw more, and then keep playing Magic because it's going to be blast. And I mean, Dig Through Time is like so awesome, and I love playing with it. But the sad reality of the situation is, because Legacy is so saturated with these cheap blue cantrips, Treasure Cruise is a little bit better, because the shells that it fits in are just like so good and so hard to beat, even with a Dig Through Time shell. So I think this weekend we're going to see Treasure Cruise come out on top.
Yeah, for sure. You made Treasure Cruise seem like a lot of fun just now.
It's quite nice.
Yeah, it's some fun.
All right, we're going to wrap things up with the lightning round. We're going to do a little bit of word association.
All right.
So I'm going to say a word, and I need you guys to both just say the first thing that pops in your head at the same time.
All right.
All right. So the first word is Legacy.
Treasure
Brainstorm.
Cruise.
Okay. Is Brainstorm in the sequel to Brainstorm there? That works. All right. Dredge.
Golgari Grave Troll.
That was awesome. All right. Fetch.
Land.
Polluted Delta, I don't know.
Okay. Terminus.
Miracles.
Stupid.
Trophy.
Grand Prix.
Husband.
Jersey.
Ugh.
Very bad state.
Snooki.
Wow. It's cold-blooded. All right. Brainstorm.
Legacy.
I'm in love.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't cast it that much, so.
All right.
Unfortunately.
And the last one, Josh McClain.
Handsome.
All right. Myself. I don't have a good answer for that one.
Fair enough. All right. The first thing that came to Josh McClain's mind at Josh McClain.
We don't get to do one about Friedman?
No.
Can we add one about Friedman?
We don't have enough time for Ben Friedman.
All right.
I'm flattered.
Josh, Ben, thanks for joining me, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Stick around. We've got plenty more coverage coming of Grand Prix New Jersey.